With a rivalry that dates back all the way to 1899, Hampton-Sydney and Washington and Lee square off this afternoon in their annual tradition against one another in Old Dominion Athletic Conference play. It's a gorgeous afternoon here at Wilson Field in Lexington, Virginia. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. I'm Ryan Connell, and I'll be with you all day long here on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. When Washington and Lee and Hampton-Sydney get together, you're often in for a really good game. These teams play a lot of close matchups, especially in recent seasons. Last year, Washington and Lee needed a fourth quarter comeback to beat Hampton-Sydney on the road 21-17. While 2 years ago here in Lexington, the Tigers walked away victorious 44-43. If you look at just the last 3 years, the three games have been decided by a total of 7 points, and I'm sure we will have another entertaining affair here this afternoon. Collins, a check down for Romero. He runs up the sideline, gets across midfield. He's got room to run. Jacob Romero all the way in for a Washington and Lee touchdown. A 63-yard pitch and catch from Collins to Romero. And the Generals have life here in the fourth. He's got Romero behind him. Sigelski in motion. Romero up the middle and in for 6. The Generals roll the dice on fourth down, and Jacob Romero has his second rushing touchdown of the day. Cito dropping back to pass. Ball comes out. It's loose on the turf, and the Generals have it. Washington and Lee gets to Carter Cito and forces a turnover. First and 10 from the 24, and Hampton-Sydney, after they had 3rd and 27, just a few plays later, as 1st and 10 from the Washington Lee 24. A double pass. Dowdy to Fernandez. It works to perfection. Start of the fourth quarter here at Wilson Field in Lexington, Virginia. Number 24, Randolph Macon in front of Washington and Lee, 13-0. A 3rd and 8 for the Yellow Jackets from their own 40-yard line. Ryan Connell with you on the Washington and Lee Sports Network. Dante Cassiola back to pass here for the Yellow Jackets. Looking left, has his target. First down yardage, and it is hauled in for the first down by Bassett Quadri. As the Yellow Jackets will move the chains. They are now 7 of 13 on 3rd down here today. And it's been back-breaking 3rd down conversion, one after the next. Yellow Jackets have possessed the ball for over 30 minutes entering this final quarter. They've scored on 3 of their first 4 drives of the game, including their first and only touchdown drive, which went 21 plays, 77 yards, and took 13 minutes off the clock between the first and second quarter. On 1st and 10, it is a play-action pass for Quadri as the flag flies before he is pushed out of bounds. And this will be just the second flag in today's game. There was only one in the first half, none in that third quarter. And it looks to be like a holding call against the Yellow Jackets, which will back them up into their own territory here early in the fourth. But a rushing touchdown from Cassiola on 4th and goal on the first play of the second quarter. A pair of field goals by the Yellow Jackets kicker Kyle Ely have Randolph Macon in front 13-0, as that's a holding call against Randolph Macon. So it'll be first and about 15. Check that, 1st and 20 from their own 42. Or Randolph Macon. Cassiola. This one thrown in between a couple of targets and batted down. So incomplete, intended for Jason Moore. Nathaniel Quantz was also in the area. We'll see what Washington and Lee can do defensively here to try and get their offense back out on the field. They've held Randolph Macon to 13 points, a team that averages over 38 points per game, the most in the conference. They've kept them to just 203 yards of total offense here through the first 3 quarters and have them 2nd and 20 at their own 42. Cassiola, the time to operate in the pocket. He's able to escape and run out of bounds after a couple-yard pickup. Home sideline not happy that Uno Christopher perhaps was getting a little bit held trying to get to the quarterback in Cassiola. It'll still be a 3rd and long here for the Yellow Jackets after he was able to scramble for 4 yards. 3rd and 16 from their own 46-yard line. 2 receivers to either side of the formation. Cassiola against the pressure, steps in and has it batted down at the line. The Generals got their hands to it, and it'll bring up 4th down, and we will see the Randolph-Macon punting unit for the 2nd time today. The Generals come up with the stop they needed defensively with 13:09 left here in the 4th. And now 4th and 15 for the Yellow Jackets, and we will see sophomore punter Jordan Etz. His first punt only went 27 yards, but that's all it needed to, as it pinned the Generals inside their own 20 at the 17-yard line. This one he will punt from his own 46. Joe Pizzo standing back with his heels at the 10. A high punt from Etz. Pizzo up to field it, and will call for the fair catch and bring it in at the 22-yard line. So about a 42-yard punt that time from Etz. The Generals will have it 1st and 10 at the 22 with 13:01 left here in the 4th quarter. Washington Lee offensively, 32 plays, just 106 yards from scrimmage. And they have been held in check here this afternoon. Only 75 yards on the ground for a team that rushed for 477 last week against Ferrum. Ty Collins to pass. He finds Romero out of the backfield, and it's only a pickup of a yard or 2 on the dump off to Jacob Romero. Washington Elite, a team doesn't really like to throw a whole ton. Going to be having to force their hand here. Trailing by 2 scores in the 4th quarter. Comes to Marcus Payne on a sweep. He jukes through 1 defender, and then the second is met after a pickup of 10 yards and enough for a Washington Elite 1st down. Just the 3rd carry of the day for Marcus Payne, but he rips off a 10-yard run and extends this drive. A little bit more tempo here for the Generals. Romero right up the gut, and a 2-yard carry for Jacob Romero. Leading rusher in the conference, 17 carries for 55 yards today. Not super efficient for a guy that entered the day averaging over almost 6.5 yards per carry. Randolph-Macon has limited him to just over 3 yards per rush here this afternoon. He gets the call again on 2nd and 8 and only has a yard, maybe 2. Just not the space to operate for Romero like he has seen in recent weeks, as Randolph-Macon has done a good job of clogging up the running lanes, and they've pushed the Generals into another 3rd down. 3rd and 6 from the 37. Washington and Lee just 1 of 7 on 3rd down offensively here today. Collins, a check down for Romero. He runs up the sideline, gets across midfield. He's got room to run. Jacob Romero all the way in for a Washington Elite touchdown. A 63-yard pitch and catch from Collins to Romero. And the Generals have life here in the 4th.